looks like a dadgum hourglass, or the pictures that you see on papers and graphics of traversable Lorentzian wormholes. I mean, think about it. What I tell you, my brains tell me it's the same object as the previous one, or same type of object, same class of object.
What in the hell is going on? This makes no sense at all. That is not what that rocket did.
From the barren mesas of northern Utah to the silent skies above them, cameras and cutting-edge sensors have recorded events that shouldn't be possible. Rockets shoot straight up, yet their GPS trails dive into solid rock. Ground-penetrating radar meant to scan for tunnels suddenly detects objects floating 40 feet overhead. LiDAR drones draw perfect rings in empty air, shapes that echo theoretical wormholes. High-speed cameras even catch strange wings unfolding for just a few frames before vanishing. Skeptics blame glitches or atmospheric quirks, but every new test only deepens the mystery. Here is the most terrifying Skinwalker Ranch footage yet. Evidence that may finally prove something extraordinary is happening beneath and above this desert. Could these be the clearest signs that Skinwalker Ranch is real? The underground mystery between the triangle and the mesa. Beneath the dry, windswept deserts of Utah sits a stretch of land unlike any other.
We've heard all these stories that if you dig on this ranch, bad things might happen to the people that do the digging. So there's a space down here that we've got instruments that say there might be something underground, but the only way to know is to drill. We want to do it safely, and we certainly don't want to do something that's dangerous.
Locals know it simply as Skinwalker Ranch, but the investigators who have spent years chasing its secrets focus on two key landmarks, the triangle and the mesa. From a distance, they look like ordinary features of the plateau, scrubby red earth and flat expanses of rock under a huge, unbroken sky. But hidden below this dusty surface may be something far from ordinary. Over the last 3 years, teams of scientists have run survey after survey in this zone, looking for anything that might explain the strange lights, unexplained sounds, and sudden power disruptions that have become routine here. That search has now brought back Jan Franke, a quiet but relentless expert in ground-penetrating radar. When Jan works, it feels less like science and more like science fiction. His machine, a long black and silver device that hums softly as it moves, can see what human eyes can't. By sending sharp pulses of radio energy into the earth and listening for the faint echoes that bounce back, his radar can build a picture of what lies hidden tens of feet below. As Jan glides the sensor over the dry soil in a precise push-broom pattern, a live image unfolds on the monitor, a ghostly cross-section of dirt and stone where buried voids and metallic shapes glow like faint lanterns. It's like X-raying the desert, one investigator said, watching the screen flicker in real time.
We had a team come out and do a balloon-based deep penetrating radar survey.
Okay.
We also have some magnetometer data from a few years ago that shows magnetic anomalies, which suggest that we're looking at something metallic, possibly even a tunnel of some kind.
The reason Jan is here again isn't just curiosity. Several years ago, a different team used magnetometers, sensitive instruments that map subtle shifts in Earth's magnetic field, to scan the same corridor between the triangle and the mesa. What they found startled even seasoned geophysicists. A long, narrow signature of intense magnetism running exactly where no known pipeline, utility trench, or ore deposit should be. On its own, a magnetic anomaly might be dismissed as a pocket of naturally magnetized rock. But when aerial radar surveys were later flown over the same path, they recorded a matching line of reflections suggesting a hard metallic surface buried far below. Two separate technologies pointing to the same underground feature lit up the imaginations of the team. Could it be that a tunnel or chamber runs between these two places? A man-made shaft, a natural lava tube, or something more exotic? The evidence remains tantalizingly inconclusive, but not easily ignored. Jan believes his updated equipment, which now probes deeper and with finer resolution than the system he used a year ago, may finally settle the question. Every slow sweep of his radar sled across the hardpan desert is an attempt to pull a secret into daylight, one electromagnetic pulse at a time. Yet skepticism hangs as thick as the desert heat. Geologists warn that the soils here are rich in iron oxides and other minerals that can mimic metal on both magnetic and radar instruments. Subsurface water tables, hidden salt lenses, and layers of basalt can bend or scatter radio signals in ways that look suspiciously like walls or tunnels. Could these natural quirks of Utah's geology have fooled every instrument so far? It's possible. And yet the pattern, straight, consistent, and precisely placed, feels engineered, as if something deliberate is waiting beneath the triangle's quiet surface. For now, the question remains suspended between data and mystery, with Jan's glowing monitor the only bridge between what we know and what might still lie hidden below. Rockets, GPS dead zones, and an invisible presence. While Jan dragged his high-tech sled across the triangle, another team prepared an experiment a half-mile east that would draw the mystery upward, into the open air. For weeks, drone operators had reported strange GPS failures in a specific patch of the east field. In the middle of otherwise clear skies, their aircraft would suddenly lose signal as if something invisible were blocking satellite contact. To test the phenomenon, the crew turned to a more dramatic tool: rockets. Each was a slender white spear packed with a live GPS tracker designed to streak thousands of feet upward while sending back precise position data. The desert air trembled with countdown numbers: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the first rocket leapt free. Its exhaust flared brilliant orange against a cobalt sky, carving a perfect white trail as it climbed.
Okay, launched, right?
Yeah. So something's going on with the signal there.
Yes.
Very interesting.
We got this weird bump
Above the ground. I can't explain that.
Everyone expected nothing more than a clean flight and a steady stream of telemetry. But seconds after launch, an alert came from the triangle. Jan's radar, aimed squarely at the ground, had just captured a powerful blip roughly 40 feet above his head. He had built his system to read downward, into rock and soil. Yet somehow it was now bouncing signals off something in the open air. The team froze. Had the rocket somehow disturbed an unseen object? Before they could answer, a second launch was readied. Once again, the desert filled with the roar of ignition and the sharp scent of propellant. And once again, 5 to 10 seconds after liftoff, Jan's screen lit with a similar spike. Same location, same altitude, same instant response. 2 launches, 2 hits. In science, that kind of repeatability is gold. Even more unsettling were the GPS records themselves. The first rocket had soared nearly 2,000 feet in plain view of every camera on the ground, but the data insisted it had veered off course and ended inside the face of the mesa, eerily close to a spot where the team had filmed a glowing, unidentified aerial phenomenon the year before. A second rocket produced an equally impossible path, again contradicting what every eye and lens had witnessed. What could create such a perfect double-take of strangeness? Some experts point to mundane explanations. Radio reflections from the steep mesa cliffs might scramble signals. High-altitude atmospheric layers can bend GPS transmissions. Even a metallic drone out of sight could, in theory, deflect radar pulses and fool sensors. But none of these answers explain the timing, that each anomaly arrived seconds after launch and always at the same 40-foot mark above the triangle. Nor do they explain why the rocket's actual skyward arcs, plain to anyone watching, diverged so wildly from the paths written in their own flight logs. Standing under the Utah sun, the investigators were left with an unsettling picture. A hidden corridor beneath the ground might link the triangle and the mesa. At the same time, something above, a structure, a field, or a moving object, was strong enough to bend both radar and satellite data, yet invisible to every camera pointed at the sky.
What in the hell is going on? This makes no sense at all. That is not what that rocket did. I want an explanation for this.
Whether it is a natural electromagnetic vortex or evidence of advanced technology, the air over Skinwalker Ranch seems to be more than empty space. It is as if the atmosphere itself is alive with secrets, answering each attempt to probe it with a quiet but undeniable reply. The corkscrew rocket and impossible flight data. Not long after the first 2 launches lit up the sky and set off strange radar echoes, the crew at Skinwalker Ranch prepared a third rocket. By now, they expected the unexpected, yet nothing could have prepared them for what unfolded next. As the final seconds of the countdown echoed across the barren Utah plateau, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, The slender missile ignited with a crackling roar and streaked upward in a blaze of white flame. To the naked eye, it looked flawless, a clean, vertical path into the blue. Cameras mounted on tripods and telescopes all confirmed the same thing. The rocket shot straight toward the heavens without a hint of wobble. Then the data came in. According to the GPS logger mounted inside the rocket, that perfect climb never happened. The numbers insisted the rocket had swerved wildly, carving a sharp arc that aimed it straight into the side of the nearby mesa. The same stone face where a year earlier the team captured the eerie flight of a glowing, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Even stranger, onboard accelerometers showed a corkscrew motion, as if the rocket had spiraled like a drill bit rather than soaring clean and true. Screens in the command trailer showed a twisting path that ended inside solid rock, a place no rocket could possibly reach. The contradiction left seasoned engineers speechless. "We all saw it shoot straight up," one of them said, staring at the flight graph. Yet the data insists it dove toward the mesa's face. Instruments don't lie, and yet cameras don't hallucinate.
During the rocket launch, the rocket didn't go straight into the mesa, but what it appeared to do was to corkscrew on its way up. The altitude that it is reported to have reached is nowhere near where the rocket actually went.
How could both be true at once? Analysis ran through every possibility. Could a sudden gust of high-altitude wind have thrown off the rocket and fooled every eye on the ground? Unlikely. The footage showed no deviation, and the air was still. Could the GPS have lost lock and stitched together false coordinates? It happens, but not with such precision, and not in a way that would fabricate a perfect corkscrew path that just happens to end at the exact spot of a previous UAP sighting. Could local magnetic fields have bent the signals? Magnetometer readings around the launch pad were normal. That left a deeper mystery. Either the team's technology, multiple cameras, redundant GPS units, and radar, had failed in unison at the exact same moment, or something in the air above Skinwalker Ranch was actively distorting reality. Not the visible world, which remained steady and clear, but the hidden world of data, satellite signals, electronic measurements, even the sense of distance and direction. What kind of force can bend numbers without bending the thing those numbers describe? What power can twist a digital record while leaving the rocket's trail untouched in the sky? For a place already known for defying explanation, this incident felt like a turning point. If rockets can appear to fly one way while their instruments chart an entirely different route, then something in this desert is tampering not with hardware, but with the very fabric of how machines perceive space. Whether that force is natural or engineered, the effect is the same. A zone where reality splits, leaving science itself struggling to keep up. The ring-shaped LiDAR anomaly. As if the corkscrew rocket wasn't enough, the next revelation arrived not from the sky, but from a drone. Jim Royston and Sam DeRiso, specialists in aerial scanning, had been flying an infrared LiDAR, light detection and ranging system over the triangle to map subtle changes in the air above it.
Be advised, I am seeing some of the GPS data corruption errors as he's flown out towards the edge of the bubble.
So right when you get to the bubble wall, your errors start popping up like crazy.
Well, you see that? Every time I try to push through the barrier, look what happens.
It's like it's pushing you back.
The technology is simple in theory. Fire millions of laser pulses, measure the reflections, and build a three-dimensional image of whatever the beams encounter. What their sensors caught that day looked anything but simple. High above the triangle appeared a perfect ring, hanging in space like a smoke halo that refused to fade. On their tablet screens, it showed up as a bright, crisp funnel of points, so clean and symmetrical it seemed digitally drawn. As the drone rotated and passed again, the structure held its shape, a hovering hourglass suspended between ground and sky. "Look how clean the lines are around it," Jim said, sweeping a finger across the shimmering display. "That's what blows my mind." This wasn't the first time such geometry had been recorded here. A year earlier, the team had discovered a flawless circle etched on the ground below, burned into memory as one of the ranch's most baffling finds. The new LiDAR signature floated directly above that same location, as if the hidden pattern had simply risen into the air. Even the proportions matched theoretical diagrams of a traversable Lorentzian wormhole, the kind of shortcut through space-time first proposed by Einstein and long imagined in science fiction. Could they really be looking at something like that? The scientists were careful not to leap to conclusions. Maybe the ring was a fluke of temperature layers bending laser light. Maybe it was a drone shadow, a digital echo, or a rare quirk of desert air. Yet the symmetry nagged at them. Natural turbulence seldom draws perfect circles that stay fixed in place while instruments circle and probe. And the timing, appearing within hours of the rockets and radar anomalies, deepened the unease. As the sun sank behind the ridges, the ring still gleamed in the drone's virtual sky, a silent diagram challenging the boundary between physics and folklore. Was it a natural optical trap, a hidden energy field, or a glimpse of some structure where space itself folds? The LiDAR could only reveal the shape, not the origin, leaving the mystery perfectly intact. High-speed camera footage of wings. The final surprise came not from radar or lasers, but from ordinary cameras pushed to extraordinary speed. As Eric reviewed the launch tower footage frame by frame, something unfamiliar emerged beside the rocket's white streaks. In the slowed, high-contrast replay, a narrow cylindrical core materialized, flanked by two faint, glowing lobes that unfolded like wings from a hidden body. The shapes were not sparks or smoke. They stayed rigid as they moved, their edges sharp and metallic against the pale sky. One frame showed the wings folded tight against the central shaft. The next caught them fanning outward with mechanical precision, as if an invisible aircraft were revealing itself for a fraction of a second.
There is something that shows up that it's not a rocket.
What is it that we're looking at that's kind of coming out of that thing?
Yeah, you're talking about these lobes on either side.
What
Yeah.
the crap is that?
So we've got this. I'll call it a cylindrical center. Mm-hmm. It's a line, and then we have these two lobes on either side.
I don't know what that is.
Over the next few minutes, Eric found the same signature twice more, each time aligned with a different rocket launch. "It looks like the same object," he said quietly, scrubbing through the footage. Or at least the same class of object. No one on the team had ever seen anything like it. Birds don't flare symmetrical panels in perfect unison. Insects don't reflect light like polished metal. And no known rocket exhaust forms crisp, geometric appendages that shift from aft to forward in a heartbeat. The possibility of airborne debris was raised and quickly dismissed. There was nothing loose near the launch pad, and desert winds were still. Could it have been a cleverly engineered drone darting in and out of sight? Perhaps, but the objects appeared faster than any known quadcopter could maneuver and left no acoustic trace. The more the team stared, the stranger it seemed. These weren't fleeting camera glitches. The defined edges and consistent shine held up under multiple filters and angles. Yet, like so much else at Skinwalker Ranch, the shapes offered no explanation of their own. They simply existed for a few impossible frames, hinting at design but defying every category of aircraft or artifact the investigators could name. The connection below and above. As the sun dipped low over the red rock ridges of northern Utah, the team gathered in the command trailer to make sense of a day that seemed to defy logic. One by one, the pieces of evidence lit up the screens. Jan Frankie's ground-penetrating radar showing a possible tunnel beneath the triangle. Jim Royston and Sam DeRiso's LiDAR scan capturing a perfect glowing ring in midair. Rocket telemetry veering into the mesa when the rockets themselves never wavered, and high-speed camera frames revealing wing-shaped objects that appeared and vanished in seconds. Each case on its own was unsettling. Together, they formed a picture no one could dismiss. Could it all be connected? The thought hung heavy in the room. Could an underground chamber be feeding energy into the sky above, powering a ring-shaped anomaly that scrambles satellites and bends light? Could the same hidden force that toys with GPS be shaping the wings seen on camera, like a shadow of machinery we cannot see?
Could Eric be right that the answers to all the UAPs and other phenomena we've recorded between the Triangle and the Mesa and the East Field might actually be underground?
The more the data was layered and cross-checked, the more it seemed that the line between what lay below and what flashed above was not a line at all. Could the answer to the skies of Skinwalker Ranch lie buried beneath its soil? One investigator finally asked aloud, giving voice to what everyone else was thinking. This was more than speculation. The magnetometer traces of a possible metal tunnel matched the very corridor where rockets and radar had been disrupted. The LiDAR ring floated above the precise patch of ground where last year a flawless circle was found burned into the desert floor. Even the mysterious winged objects seemed to appear at altitudes where radar spikes and GPS failures overlapped. Each anomaly echoed another, as if the desert itself were weaving a single story out of hidden metal, electromagnetic pulses, and brief flashes of geometry. The scientists in the trailer could not name the force at work, but they agreed on one thing. Whatever is happening at Skinwalker Ranch is not confined to one realm. It rises from the depths of the earth to the open sky, binding the underground to the atmosphere in ways modern instruments can barely track. Whether that force is geological, technological, or something stranger still, it leaves a signature that science can measure but not yet explain. Night fell, but the mystery only deepened. Rockets had vanished into data gaps, leaving GPS trails that swerved into stone. Ground-penetrating radar had picked up invisible objects hovering in empty air. LiDAR sketched perfect rings that echoed the shape of theoretical wormholes. If Skinwalker Ranch is a hoax, why do independent technologies keep recording the impossible? And if it isn't, what exactly are we standing over? Every instrument the team deployed, rockets, radar, drones, cameras, brought back the same unsettling message. Something real and active is at work here, yet it refuses to be caught in the ordinary net of evidence. We are no longer just chasing mysterious lights in the sky. We are mapping something deeper and stranger. A structure, a phenomenon, maybe even a passageway that science itself has yet to name. The desert holds its silence, the stars wheel overhead, and the triangle waits for the next question no one yet knows how to ask.